One of the biggest mysteries in the Peppa Pig universe revolved around Aunt Dottie, a member of the Pig family who had never made an appearance. But that's all changed now, because she's finally shown up in person. However, has everything about the mysterious Aunt Dottie truly been revealed? This incredible revelation took place in episode 38 of the new season, Thanksgiving, which premiered on September 5th, 2024. After so long, few fans thought Aunt Dottie would ever actually appear, but she did, joining her family to celebrate Thanksgiving for the first time in a very long time. 20 years to be exact. And of course, this means we finally got to see what she looks like. Contrary to all the fan art predicting her appearance, Aunt Dottie has one feature no one saw coming. She wears round glasses, similar to the ones Daddy Pig wears. But soon, you'll notice something quite strange behind all of this, and we're here to spill the beans right now. So jump into this wave, because Cinewave is starting. The first and only time Aunt Dottie was mentioned before her debut was in Season 4, Episode 4, Horsey Twinkletoes, released way back in 2011. In that episode, the Pig family receives two things from Dottie, a letter and a toy horse, gifts for Peppa and George. Even in this episode, no significant details about Aunt Dottie were revealed. The only two things we learned were, 1. She's Peppa and George's aunt, which was pretty obvious, and 2. She lives in a faraway country, so she couldn't visit her family. And that's it! At the time, we didn't even know which of Peppa's parents Dottie was related to. After all, to be their aunt, she'd have to be one of their siblings. Not even this basic question was answered. We also had no idea what she looked like, only that she was a woman. This lack of information led fans to create countless fan art of her, imagining her to look like Mommy Pig or perhaps the wife of Daddy Pig's brother. After all, there weren't many female pigs in the series to use as a reference for designing another pig character. Peppa and Granny Pig didn't count. One was too young, and the other was too old. Fortunately, most of our questions about Dottie were finally answered in the episode where she appeared for the very first time. What's interesting is that Dottie didn't just surprise fans with her sudden appearance, she even caught the Pig family off guard, as none of them had any idea she'd be visiting.
That sounds great.
The Thanksgiving episode begins with Peppa and George sitting at the breakfast table with their parents, chatting and enjoying their meal. Suddenly, Aunt Dottie calls Mommy Pig to let her know she's on her way to their house. Everyone immediately scrambles to get ready and heads outside to greet her, just as she's stepping out of a taxi in front of the Pig family home. It's in this moment that we finally see what Aunt Dottie looks like. As an adult pig, Aunt Dottie does resemble Mommy Pig quite a bit. However, there are noticeable differences. For starters, their eyelashes are a different color, but the most striking feature? Dottie's round glasses, which, as we mentioned earlier, bear a strong resemblance to Daddy Pig's glasses. It seems like Peppa Pig is uncovering more and more relatives as the series goes on. If you'd like to see more of Peppa's extended family in the show, comment below with #family. As Aunt Dottie greets everyone, Mommy Pig reveals a major detail. The two are sisters. This clears up another long-standing mystery. Dottie is Peppa's maternal aunt, meaning she's also the daughter of Grandpa and Granny Pig. We also learn that Mommy Pig's sister had met Peppa once before. However, it was so long ago that Peppa was just a baby at the time and obviously doesn't remember it. In fact, Peppa not only forgot meeting her aunt before she even forgot Aunt Dottie existed altogether. We know this because at the start of the episode, she asks who Dottie is. Yes, even after receiving that toy horse from her aunt in the first episode where Dottie was mentioned. Well, it does make sense for Peppa to have forgotten about Dottie. After all, her aunt was mentioned just once, and that was in an episode released over a decade ago. We're not sure how much time has passed in Peppa Pig's universe since then. While there have been repeated holiday episodes, the characters themselves haven't aged. Still, it's safe to say enough time has passed for a little piggy with her head in the clouds to forget about a distant aunt. As for George, he's never met Aunt Dottie before. This is their first encounter, which means her last visit was indeed a long time ago, probably 1 or 2 years before George was born. Aunt Dottie wasn't kidding when she said she'd only seen Peppa as a baby. Back then, Peppa was likely just a few months old. Since Dottie traveled all the way from her home country to England to celebrate Thanksgiving with her family, the Pig family began preparing a big feast in her honor.
Oh, really?
While Peppa and Daddy Pig went out to shop for food, George and Mommy Pig stayed home to decorate and invite the rest of the family. Last-minute invites during a holiday are always risky, but luckily, everyone was available and came to Mommy Pig's house without hesitation. Thanks to this, Dottie had the chance to reunite with her parents, Grandpa and Granny Pig. This scene is so heartwarming. Anyone who's only been able to visit their parents once in a blue moon due to living far away knows how emotional these reunions can be. Even Daddy Pig's side of the family showed up, including his older brother, Uncle Pig, and his family. Unfortunately, Their parents didn't appear, which wasn't surprising since they've never been shown in the series. Could it be that they also live far away, just like Aunt Dottie? Speaking of Dottie, another fun fact revealed in this episode is that she and Aunt Pig, Uncle Pig's wife, already knew each other. Perhaps they'd been friends for a long time. Could Dottie have introduced Aunt Pig to Uncle Pig since she likely knew him through Mommy Pig's marriage to Daddy Pig? Who knows, but it feels like this is the kind of detail that could be explored in a future episode of the show. All the familiar faces from the Pig family gathered around the table to enjoy an incredible Thanksgiving banquet. Peppa's family, Grandpa and Granny Pig, Uncle Pig and Aunt Pig, Chloe, baby Alexander, and of course, the star of the episode, Aunt Dottie. And that's how this heartwarming episode concludes. Sadly, Aunt Dottie must return to her home country after Thanksgiving and say goodbye to her sister, Mommy Pig. But before we move on to a puzzling topic about this character, specifically how she can be Mommy Pig's sister, why not hit that subscribe button? That way, you'll never miss our awesome content about Peppa Pig and your favorite cartoons.
Did we just become best friends? Yep!
There are several hints scattered throughout the episodes of Peppa Pig that suggest it would make much more sense if Aunt Dottie were actually Daddy Pig's sister, and by the end of this video, you'll be completely convinced of this theory. First, in the episode Horsey Twinkletoes, Mommy Pig talks about Aunt Dottie in a way that doesn't feel personal at all, as if the two of them aren't particularly close. But the most suspicious clue lies in Daddy Pig's office, where there's a black and white photo on his desk. In this photo, you can see two little piglets that look a lot like Peppa and George. However, and this is key, the photo is in black and white. It makes no sense for Daddy Pig's children to appear in an old colorless photo since they were born only a few years ago. On top of that, the two piglets in the picture are wearing outfits that Peppa and George have never worn. This strongly suggests that the smaller pig in the photo is actually a younger Daddy Pig, and the piglet standing next to him must be his older sister. What's even more intriguing is that this piglet is wearing a polka-dotted dress, just like Aunt Dottie's. This can't be a coincidence. What makes all this even stranger is that Grandpa and Granny Pig's house has no evidence of Aunt Dottie's existence. Their home includes Mommy Pig's childhood bedroom and plenty of her old belongings, but nothing that suggests she had a sister. It's almost as if Peppa's maternal grandparents only raised one child, Mommy Pig. The only way to explain this is to imagine that for some reason, Dottie never lived with her parents and moved away at a very young age. Perhaps Mommy Pig's sister was raised by a distant relative in another country, which could also explain why she now lives so far away. But honestly, I don't think the show's creators thought this through. It's possible that Aunt Dottie was originally intended to be Daddy Pig's sister, but the plans changed, and a few loose ends slipped through unnoticed. The mystery of the piglet in Daddy Pig's photo remains unsolved. Could it be that he actually has a sister, even though she's not Dottie? This theory raises an exciting possibility. We might someday get an episode of Peppa Pig that focuses entirely on Daddy Pig's side of the family, introducing us to his parents and this mysterious sister. Every time Peppa Pig gives us an answer, it seems to leave us with even more questions begging to be explored. The video is coming to an end, but we've left two awesome videos on your screen. Go ahead and click one to keep the fun going. Thanks for watching, and see you next time!